I'm going to go over some tips and tricks that you would need to know about your 2023 Honda Civic Type R. And yeah, they have all these here, went down, and speed limit, rev match system, yeah.
Yeah, there's love, there's hate, lies and games, faith.
All right, guys, so in today's episode, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks that you would need to know about your 2023 Honda Civic Type R. So one of the first things that I want to show you guys that these cars do that you may not be aware of is that you have a feature, especially if you live like in a warm climate like Florida, you have a feature that benefits you. Let me see if I can show it to you right now. So let's say, you know, your car's locked and it's hot and you want to like get some air in there before you get in there. You can basically just like open and then hold down the unlock button, and then wow, look at that, all the windows come down for you. So just by holding the unlock button like that, you can basically put down all your windows and you're good to go. You know, you get some air inside there before you get in there. All right, now another thing that I'm going to go into with these cars that's very, very important, especially if you're somebody that's into racing and stuff like that, is your driving modes and things, right? So let's get into that real quick. All right, so here's one of the things that you're going to want to know if you're getting ready to race or drive or anything like that. So one of the first things that I do, like that I did in this car, was they had an automatic rev match, you know, like working as soon as like I got in here, and I was not a fan of that. So what I did was I went into vehicle settings. All right, let's see if you can see that there. And I think I used driver assist setup. And yeah, they have all these here, went down, and speed limit, rev match system, yeah. So I clicked on rev match system and I have it on off. So that's, you know, so that's one thing. So I disabled the whole rev match system thing. So it's off there. That's one of the first things that I did, because quite frankly, you don't need it. Like, you can, you know, this car is a great car to just drive it for what it is. So you can do without it. Another thing that, let's see. So you have like your individual steerings. I put the engine in R mode, steering in sport, suspension in sport, engine sound in comfort. That engine sound will like basically, you know, limiting that pumped in sound as much as possible. And it has rev match of sport, but I disabled it, so it didn't make a difference. And gauge in the sport. So that's my individual settings, right? Now, another thing if you're getting ready to launch this car, right? This is what I figured out the best mode is to launch it. So to launch it, what you want to do is first put it in R mode. I press this button here and it changes it into R mode, right? That's what it looks like there when it goes into R mode. And when I put it into R mode, like I said, take that off. So to put it into R mode, you then go down here and you press this button for a while. You hold it down, and by holding it down, oh, actually, sorry, no, wrong button, my bad. All right, you press this button here, it's your traction control. You press it and you hold it down. All right, and you hold it down and it's off once, and then when it does that, that means like traction control's all the way off. So by doing that, and you can only do that when you're at a complete stop. So you have to be at a complete stop and you have to be in R mode in order to take off, you know, the traction control all the way. And then basically you can just like, let me see if I'll do it a little bit here. You can just put it in the first and rev to where you want it to be, and then you can take off from there. So that's like the best way that I figured out how to launch this car. And strangely enough, like this car, it feels, and even through testing it, it's almost as fast as my Camaro SS1LE. I would venture with just the tune, it would be just as fast. So that's something you guys don't sleep on, these Type Rs. They're actually pretty quick. So that's it for like if you want to launch it and you want to get the best out of this car. That's like the best mode that I figured out to be in. Another thing that I would recommend doing when you get these cars is right after you've crossed over 1,000 miles or so, take it in and get an oil change. And if you're in a warm climate like I'm in Florida, then I would recommend asking your dealership or whoever does your oil change to put in 5W30 oil. That's what I figure is the best oil for this, you know, in a warm environment. But you guys comment below and let me know what you think. That's another thing to consider with this car. Another thing that if you just want to drive, right, you're doing long commutes and stuff like that, then I recommend putting the car in comfort mode. See, like when you're in comfort mode, you save a little bit more on gas. The car is still fun. It's still fun, but it's not as like bouncy as what it is in sport or in R mode. So when you're in comfort mode, you save a little bit more, and the ride is just a smoother, better ride. So that's pretty much it for this. I'll probably just go do a launch real quick to show you guys what I was talking about getting the best launch out of it, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Like, it's pretty quick for what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and do what I just told you guys. I'm gonna take traction control off. All right, traction control is off now, and as soon as we're able to, I'm gonna do a launch and show you guys how to launch this car. Hopefully I do it right. All right, so for me, I rev it a little bit, and just like that, 60. So that's like, just in that movement, I was able to do like a good launch. Let me know what you guys think. Like, did that seem like a good launch for me from what you're watching? Like, I think I would have taken out a couple vehicles with that. But comment below, let me know what you think, and hope you guys enjoyed this one. Here's another very interesting thing about these Honda Civic Type R's, right? And I'm not sure if it's the same thing with like the regular Honda Civic, or any of the other like Honda vehicles. But like, okay, so let's look underneath here, right? Let's say you ran out of windshield wiper fluid and you wanted to, you know, just go ahead and replace the windshield wiper fluid. You just want to go ahead and put in more fluid. Where do you put it? That's the intake. That's the battery. I'm guessing that's brake fluid or something, or power steering fluid or something like that. That's oil. That's coolant. Like, do you guys see anywhere to put any windshield wiper fluid? No, you don't see anywhere, right? Well, in case you guys wanted to know, the windshield wiper fluid is all the way on the side over here. Look at that, it's right off of the car. So this is where you would put it. I just replaced mine this morning. So yeah, so that's where it is, on the side of the vehicle. It's not like, in most vehicles it would be like here or something, but I guess they left inside here open in case you wanted to upgrade your turbo and things like that, or make, you know, adjustments underneath the hood. But yeah, that's another thing about these Honda Civic Type R's. Another thing to note is that this right here, it's actually open, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's really pretty wide open. So I don't know if that's more of a heat extractor. I believe that's a heat extractor, but it seems to work pretty well. But yeah, that's another like little quirk, or, you know, tip or trick, I guess, that in case you needed to put any windshield wiper fluid, now you know. All right, so I still believe that you know, if you live in hot or warm places like Florida, that you should have like a 5W30 oil. That's what, you know, we should put in these cars. But from Honda, I do want to let you know that they say that you should go with the full synthetic 0W20 that's prescribed for the car. So, you know, that's just, you know, that's what they say and that's what they recommend. If you guys are like geniuses on this subject, chime in below and let me know what you think. But I do have some important information given to me from Honda about the intervals of when you should do your oil changes on your Honda Civic Type R. So apparently from the factory, Honda puts in a special type of oil. It's not really like a break-in oil. It's more of a lubricating oil that it's only done basically on the first oil change. And it's almost like they do not want you to do an early oil change, because I went in and I wanted to do my oil change at 1,000 miles and they were like, no, If you absolutely want to, you can, but they do not recommend it because they want the oil to fully lubricate the engine, and it's going to keep it's going to extend the life of the engine the longer you keep that first like oil. I don't want to say break in because it's not something where it's going to be like shavings and stuff in there. It's more of like for lubrication. So they want you to keep that oil in there up until the oil change light comes on and says that you need to change the oil. And as a matter of fact, even if you go in and you try to do it before the time before your oil light comes on, they're going to charge you for the oil change, versus like it would be free if you do it when the light turns on and Honda tells you this is when you're supposed to do your oil change. So that's another thing to consider. So if if you guys are one of those people where you're like me, where you want to hurry up and get that oil out, Honda, it's not recommended. It's more recommended that you let it run for 5,000 miles or however long it takes until that oil light. I think the guy told me when it gets down to like 15%, that's when you should change the oil, and only then. You shouldn't change it before because you will shorten the lifespan of the engine. So if you want to keep the engine running longer and healthier, keep that first oil that's in there, and just run it until the oil light comes on and it tells you it's time to change. So that's some other important information. If you plan on keeping your Type R and you want to keep it healthy, it's very important that you keep that first oil in there and let it run its course. Let it fully lubricate the engine and all the moving parts in there so you can keep that engine running longer and stronger. Shout out to the whole MOC. That's 100 Gang Nate, Cutie Chaotic, Blueprint 1 Lee, and of course ourselves, Race Car Friends. And with that, hope you guys enjoy this episode. And with that, Race Car Friends out. Push this back up. I mean, the rear seats actually look good. It's hard for you guys to see because it's all dark, but it looks like there's a lot of room in there. And then, let's see, I guess to slide this back and see what it feels like in it. All right, so now that I'm in it, start it up. Okay, the seats is what is going to take some getting used to for me. I mean, the bolstering actually is not that bad. It's kind of similar to what it is in the Camaro, and even the seating position is similar to what it is in the Camaro. But I mean, it feels good. It has a nice look to it. I don't know. I'm probably gonna see if we can take it for a test drive and see, if I like the way it drives compared to like the Challenger that we rode in today. But so far, it looks really, really nice. So, like I was telling you, this is the way how I would get it, and it's a manual, right? Yes. So manual, Hemi, wide body. The only thing that's off about it to me is the colors. Like I would get it black, but this still looks beautiful though. Yeah.